Bruh, you may notice something a little different here. Thurman, check out that quality on your voice.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
We're in the same room. That's
oh my
why.
God, I can touch him. I can slap him and be like, fuck you.
Yeah,
my nip. Okay.
But
anyway,
these next couple of chapters might have a little bit too gayness in them, so bear with us, please. We're in the flesh now, so you
actually sounded gay there. Like, bear with us, please.
This might be I think it might be a little bit too gay. Now
the bromance has to find a fucking level to stop. But yeah, this is our One Piece discussion for this week. The next couple ones will be in person because he is visiting. But yeah, let's get right into the One Piece.
First thing I want to talk about is this One Piece chapter. I was reading this before I got on the.
If you need a page, let me know.
On the plane, man. First thing I want to talk about here is Kaido. Kaido giving my man Luffy his props. Like, bro, like he.
Are you talking about the part where he's like, it feels like he's still staring at me?
Yeah, bro, like, oh my God, Kaido, best Yonko. Well, he's not a Yonko anymore because Luffy's the fifth emperor.
He absolutely is. That fifth implies that there's another one. So.
But Kaido, man,
you mean because it's not Yonko? I get
Kaido. You. One of my biggest things here is one thing I love about One Piece, and one thing that made Katakuri so great is that Katakuri was a very realistic villain, right? He didn't give Luffy a chance to do shit.
Agreed.
Like, he was like,
he was like, because he saw in the future, he was like, I see you transforming, bitch.
Why the fuck would I allow you to do that?
Until he gained respect for him,
Kaido gives me the vibes of a character that will give credit where credit is due regardless. Right? So here we literally see him, like, we see his little minion bitch boy be like, I can't believe he's still breathing. He's like, fuck yeah. Like, obviously. Yeah. And then we see...
I appreciate that. Yeah, he's not just going to be like, you're weak.
And then we see him like... He's like impressed with Luffy. He's like, you fucking took that shit, and then you still have the balls to glare at me? That's fucking respect, man.
Yeah.
Kaido gives respect is due, and I fucking love it.
That is cool. And I like that you picked up on that, because that's a cool character trait, and I agree with that. And it makes sense, because he's kind of like your drunk, abusive grandpa. Like not Thurman specifically. I don't think you have a drunk, abusive grandpa.
Both of my grandparents have passed away, if I recall correctly.
But when he was alive, was he drunk and or abusive?
No, neither of those things.
Okay, well, imagine a drunk, abusive grandpa. I feel like he'd be, like someone that's like 99% of the time hates you, but like then you do that one thing that impresses him. He's like, you're not so much of a little blankety blank a word I can't
Bro,
say.
like,
a word that an old person would say.
But Kaido, man, Kaido's just I can't wait to see more from this character.
Me too, dude. He's gonna be great, and Kaido. I mean, he's been built up since end of CP9 arc when they were like, here's all the Yonko. So I mean, these are the characters that Oda must have been thinking about for a long time.
Like, it's just he's giving off the personality of a villain that I fucking respect a lot.
Yeah, and, like crocodile levels.
Yeah, and can we just give my boy Red his props here? We're gonna play a clip from last chapter. He's like, if you're Law, you're gonna do like shambles the fuck out.
Yeah, I told you.
Shambles the fuck out of there.
So good. Yeah, no, hardcore, man. I saw this page. Okay, so last chapter, I literally said Law's gonna be like shambles the fuck right out of there. Like he's gonna be like, I gotta do a good pop punk. Yeah,
shambles the fuck out of there.
And I saw that. I'm on first page of the chapter. I see this lower left, and I'm like, Law, you shambles the fuck out of there right now. Is that?
I was like, Red must be so happy right now. He's like, Red, if you're Law, you're gonna do and shamble the fuck right out of there.
Shambles the fuck out. No, and that's true because like here's the thing. Let's say you have this power. And you can open this space and like pick a random fucking rock a mile away and be like, I'm over here now. And if you saw that shit that just went down with Luffy, immediately like, room. I'm just gonna have a room real quick. But no, fucking walk-ins.
Bro, this snitching fucking walk-ins with this fucking, look at this shit.
Yeah,
this fucking needle.
A sea stone needle. At first I thought it was a sea stone bullet. I straight up thought it was a sea stone bullet. I thought, because remember, Capone in the before the lead up to the Whole Cake Island arc, Capone was like he lied to Caesar Clown. He was like, we got sea stone bullets, and he was like, just kidding, those are hard to find. We learn an interesting lore fact about sea stone this chapter.
That it was
founded in Wano, and only the craft, like the blacksmiths in Wano, are able to actually form it into objects, which makes sense why there's no sea stone bullets. Because you think these motherfuckers, they're like ancient feudal swords They ain't gonna make fucking bullets. You know what I mean? They ain't about that life. If you're an epic badass samurai that can cut an entire fucking like mansion in half with one fucking swing, what in God's name would you ever need a bullet for?
Bullets are the bullet.
Bullets are pissed to you. Yeah. Think about Zoro. Yeah, you saw what Zoro did to bullets. Like, nah. So yeah.
Bro, it's crazy too. Like
that's smart because look, he puts that's actually really smart because you just poof, a little needle in you. Law, like your law, you have a little needle in you. You all of a sudden you can't use room anymore. That's essentially, you know what this reminded me of? Immediately. You remember in the Chisaki arc in My Hero Academia, the quirk dart to get rid of your quirk? Mm-hmm. That's essentially what that is here. Obviously, it's not permanent. Once he takes it out, it's fine. Mm-hmm. But this sea stone nail acts as
a fucking
like a power removing, a temporary power removing.
Imagine if the Marines have that. Capturing pirates would be way easier.
Mm-hmm. I think they have sea stone nets. I think they've used before in the series, haven't they? They have.
But like this could be utilized way better than a fucking net.
No, you're right. I mean, well, Watkins, his yes, that's his name now.
Lockings. Fuck this.
No, are you kidding me?
He's a snitch, bitch. Got half the crew. Well,
he didn't know. You are aware he didn't know they were really there.
Fuck him anyway. I am convinced this bitch is not. It's on the side of Kaido. He's a fucking sellout.
I'm not because, bro. Look at how later in this chapter Law gets away. He was right there. How in God's name would Law have gotten away? No, he let him get away. He is not.
I thought Oda was. I don't know.
I still think Hawkins. I think Hawkins. I'm still. One more thing I have about that. I still think Hawkins is playing the long game. I think off screen Hawkins might give Law a little.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because this line.
That means shit. Okay. Time's passing.
All right.
No, I think he escaped a little too easily because he has him here.
Yeah, you're right. Okay,
there's something going on.
I'll give the little snitch his due props.
Give him some time because none of the fucking Supernova would ever want to work with Kaido. All of them seemed very independent to me. Yeah. Now, one other thing I want to bring up though is because you were like, oh, the Marines should use these nails things. Hawkins' thing is kind of nails. Like I actually went back and reread Sabaody after this chapter because. Useless kid. But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
I reread Sabaody. He fought with nails back then too. Like he would be like he turned into his thing. It was like nails. Brrr, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think nails are just his thing. Yeah. Like he likes fucking just nails.
I mean, yeah, most of the stuff has to do with cards, nails, and
that also just leads to one of my things that I respect the fuck out of about Oda. Back like what is that 300, 400 chapters ago when Hawkins was introduced. His fighting style was established back then, and it hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. He's still the same person. So many authors writing a character that long, they would have felt like different or changed. Oda's just so good at keeping his characters consistent and writing these. It's just great. That's why like reveals like this Eustace Kid one at the end feels so special because it's like we haven't seen that character in I think our time, 2011ish would have been Sabaody.
Mm-hmm. No, 2008.
God,
I just looked it up.
So nearly. Really? Sabaody was 2008 in the manga?
In the manga, yeah.
10 years. Now, yes, we saw him a little bit with the whole, like, Kaido fell. Kaido literally just dropped from a fucking, like, an angel from heaven.
Yeah, but that's not really fighting capability.
And baby shaked him. No, I mean, you know.
Yeah. You can see the funny shit in person.
Yeah, so last thing I'll say about that, though, is, with Kid, nope, I lost it. Never mind, because you're saying I lost it.
So we get to the part where he's like an indomitable will to fight. So we know this is respect I'm talking about, right? He's been good. So, bro, like
no, I want to talk about the Conqueror's Haki well unconscious.
First, look at this shit, bro.
He's a large boy.
Oh my god,
he's Thanos level thick right now. Here, I want to show you something.
And now look at that fucking. I'm pretty sure that's the Shanks one.
Shanks
yeah,
scar.
The Shanks
that's
scar.
Some Shanks shit. Shanks was dude. Shanks pulled like an X-Drake. Like shing. So Shanks is like, I'm gonna fucking fight you like my favorite supernova, X-Drake, and then everyone pukes. No, but I want to talk about this. There's something interesting about the fact that he's able to use Conqueror's Haki while unconscious. Like, look at so everyone does the where's the page where everyone pulls the fucking here it is. Everyone, I get hardcore Silver's Rayleigh in the auction house vibes here. Yeah, and you know everyone fucking passes out, and it's like this kind of shows. It's almost like he's able to. Because I do think he actually is unconscious. I think he's just subconsciously able to do this. I think it's like almost like a defense mechanism of the body.
It's just, oh man, I can't express this enough. Just look at Kaido's design.
Kaido's like, whatever.
Can we just appreciate Kaido's design. Like even in human form, this man looks. You can tell that Oda put in so much work on his design. It's so beautiful.
Putting in the work.
Like, look at this man. Like, I wouldn't even mind if Kaido won. Honestly, like
Kaido wins.
Kaido is that much of a badass. Like he's honestly, besides Shanks, he's honestly becoming one of my favorite Yonkos, and he's only showed up like two or three panels. Bruh. Like this man is.
Oh yeah, we get his laugh, but I don't know if you've gotten that before. It's like whoa, row. Well, that's One Piece. Everyone's got to fucking laugh.
I can't wait to hear that in the anime.
It's gonna be like whoa. It's gonna like you remember so Whitebeard. What was Whitebeard? It's like guru or like.
I've never seen it in the manga form. Though.
I have put forth the idea many a times that there should be a national holiday called Laugh Like a One Piece Character Day, because I want to go around being my personal favorite. Yes.
Isn't that?
That's Gecko Moria, my boy. People hate on Gecko, bro.
I'm gonna go on YouTube and look up. One Piece laugh compilation.
So many different ones.
Compilation.
Like, Oda's essentially trying to make he's trying to make every single laugh that you could possibly. The weirdest one. There's I believe the drunk dude in Blackbeard's crew that he freed from Impel Down. His laugh is like tapa. It's like, bro, you're going off the deep end.
So yeah, unlike the Promised Neverland, every One Piece character has their own uniqueness with their laugh. Hashtag shade.
Yeah, I mean, uniqueness in general.
Yeah, we have personality in general. Anyway, bro, like to the point where this man Kaido's like break his spirit that he's gonna join our crew. Like this man Kaido, I thought honestly, like you had to look at this man. You first had a Kaido that was so pissed while drunk. He was like, "I'm going to beat the living." No, but I'm talking about before this. But
even then he didn't.
Back then. Yeah, he was like, "I'm going to fucking beat the shit out of Luffy and Law for ruining my Smile project, even though it was your fault, Dolph, for being too fucking weak, you fucking pussy."
You fucking Dolphy.
But now he's like, bro, break his spirit and he'll join our side. Like, what the fuck? Like, look at that shit. Like, even then, like, look, you have when at the start, before the start of this arc, him and Big Mom's conversation. She's like, "Fuck you, Linlin, I'm gonna fuck them over. You know, I'm gonna fuck them up. If you come to my land, I'm gonna fuck you up."
And
too.
you can kind of see now that makes sense because he wants them on their crew. Like that. I don't know if you noticed. That's something he does a lot. Like I'm getting more. You were talking about how he respects people's strengths. A personality quirk that I'm getting from Kaido is that he isn't one to just, I'm going to kill you if you disrespect me. Like, even with Shutenmaru earlier, did you notice how with Shutenmaru, when he was drunk, he was like, that's in the past. I'm not mad. I just joined my crew, man. Come on. So he's very much like Luffy in that regard, where it's like, join my crew. Random skeleton, join my crew. You know, so I hope that there's a little bit of, like, almost similarities there where he's like, he's very like, I want you to join. I ain't gonna kill you, you know. But of course, I hear him say, "All right, we're gonna break his spirit and make him join." And I'm like, never in a million years can I ever see Luffy joining someone else's crew.
What's crazy is too because we talked about this before. How the way Oda sets up every arc so far is that he has the villain, he has Luffy hate. Like we have flashbacks. We have Luffy. Oda does this thing where he has the villain do bad stuff to make us and Luffy hate him more. So that way, when Luffy does beat
it's like
him,
this orgasmic release.
Yeah,
like fucking beat the shit out of him.
But Oda's doing the opposite here. He's making me like. I mean, me personally, I feel like even because we essentially what's happened is we've gotten what's the shitty things that he's done. Like, I'm not gonna deny that Kaido's kind of scummy. But
I'm sorry, you can't say that you like what he's doing is he's making him human, right? So Doflamingo, he had like little things in his flashback, like his kid, like the flashback of him as a kid, that kind of made him relatable, pitiable, stuff like that, right?
The fact that he was like, "Bro, I'm gonna kill you guys." All being tied up like Jesus.
But what that showed was just he was raised so like. He was just a monster from birth, right? But essentially what I'm saying is it was just that, though. Besides that, he was very much like I exist to be hated. Mm-hmm. With Kaido, he has a lot more of a personality, but you have to look at the actions that he's done.
That's what I'm saying.
So the point I'm making is, do not forget, everything we've been shown in this entire chapter, or in this entire arc so far, of like how he's basically just destroyed this entire country. Like we saw how beautiful it used to be, and now it's just this like desolate wasteland. You remember the fucking wasteland where like all the animals are dead? It's poison. Like let's not forget as well that he takes all of the good food, brings it to his people, and just gives the double middle finger to everybody else.
I'm sorry, man.
You can't like him.
Just there are some villains you just can't hate.
No.
Morally wise,
listen,
yes.
Of course, as a villain, like yeah, it's great. I love liking villains in a series, yes. But I'm talking real life. This guy exists. You're gonna hate him. That's what I'm saying. That's what I just want to make sure.
Real life, Kaido's fucking scout. But in fiction,
of course,
man, I would definitely drink with this guy.
Thing with,
I definitely drink with him.
Who is it? There's a fucking character that I love so much. Like Hisoka, right? When I say to people I love his character, some people that have that very like, how can you like he's such a horrible person? I'm like, oh yeah, in real life he's a fucking freak.
Real life, yeah.
In real life he's dangerous as fuck because but in fiction, hell yeah. So I get that.
Oda, but my point was that usually, yes, we've seen the shit that Kaido has done, but we don't really. But to my knowledge, I think maybe besides Emil, but we haven't really seen. Like, maybe even Roger Lucy too, if you want to argue that. But Oda is doing the, like, not really so the opposite, but more so of making us kind of like hate him than like him at the same time, you know? Like, giving him...
And that would be good writing, right?
Yeah.
But what that is it's making him a two-sided person, which is what most people are.
Like, not even Big Mom, right? Like, did you like
Big Mom's flashback, it hurt.
Well, yeah,
because here's the thing, she's a little girl, she's just dropped off, and it's fucked up what happened to her. She clearly had a mental disorder. She didn't understand right from wrong. She went through thinking that, I'm helping because I'm ripping out the third joint of the long arm tribe because he's a freak and I need to help him not be free. She had these weird ideas as a kid, but because she was so strong, no one was brave enough to discipline her. And so no one could be her mom and say, no, that's wrong, you can't do that. So you saw Mother Caramel in that flashback enabling her. Every time she did some horrible shit, she'd be like, oh, she was just trying to help. She's good at heart. And that's kind of where you see her freakness, her freaky, horrible moral ideas came from the fact that she was raised by people that were too scared to discipline her and say you're doing wrong.
Yeah, and then she ate everybody.
Yeah, which is also fucked up.
But like
but I guess you're saying that's both of these other villains are flashbacks where they make us kind of feel for them.
Yeah,
Kaido is present time actually making.
Yeah, because what I feel the difference is that like we've already seen. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen like a full Kaido flashback yet. But from the way Oda's doing, he's doing it differently in the ways to where it's usually how it goes is the Shahakers enter land, blah blah blah. We see some instances of evil between that dude, but then we have a flashback of why they're evil, and then we have the build up of where we and Luffy see that person doing bad shit, and then Luffy beats the shit out of them.
Yeah,
but it was different here because even the Big Mom scenario, me personally, I think Big Mom's an okay character, but even her flashback never made me be like, oh, okay, well, me personally, I feel I do like her. I did like her No Mercy character side trickster. I did like that. But at the same time, nothing really made me like be like, oh, okay, well then like I don't hate her, but at the same time, like she's not really unique in the way like Rob Lucci or Crocodile was. But the way could just be me, but the way Oda is writing Kaido here, it's like he's already likable even though we know the bad shit that he's done, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna do worse shit. But right now, he's becoming more of like a... he's more likable as a villain already, just from the few stuff we've seen him, just from the stats.
And I think a lot of that comes down to him just not being like, fully like, fuck you. So I'll give you a good example. There's a reviewer, I don't know if you've seen him around, I've seen him in recommended, Grand Line Review. He does the little short videos. Have you seen him? Welcome to Grand Line Review, where we talk about everything One Piece. That
no,
guy.
Never.
Okay, well, shout out to him, even though we're smaller than him. But he made a great point in the original chapter where he came down as a dragon and he was all drunk, right? He was talking about how there were some people that were complaining about that. And what that is your DBZ tards, right? They wanted it to be pure epic, and they were like, oh, he's just acting silly, that's stupid, right? And I loved the point Grand Line Review made was amazing. It was like, you are wrong. Kaido being drunk in this chapter is the exact thing that makes One Piece so good. Because Oda chose to not just make him another scary villain, he has given him a character trait and a character flaw and something that makes him feel human. He just came down in dragon form drunk. Who other than Oda would draw a drunk Chinese dragon? That right there is what makes One Piece One Piece. And Oda does this thing where every character feels like a real person because they have their thing. So, like, with Robin, she's overly depressing. You know, like, a lot of her jokes are, man, I wonder if that crushes us, the water will all turn red, you know. And you know, Nami, she's into money. You know, Sanji, cooking. You get it, right? And all of their personality traits go back to their flashbacks. Robin is overly depressive because, fuck, look at her childhood. She has been conditioned to expect the worst out of everything. Nami is greedy because she spent her childhood, almost 10 years of it, trying to gain back money to buy her family's freedom. Brook makes jokes to himself constantly because he spent 50 years alone trying to stave off insanity by talking to himself. So Kaido being a drunk, knowing Oda, there's going to be a reason for it, and it's going to be sad. And what you're probably getting is a vibe of Oda kind of showing us that how human he is, how real he is, because I bet you how he acts here, the fact that he's not just pure evil, the fact that he's not just, fuck you, Luffy, you're weak, I got you, and the fact that he almost has some sort of, like, I respect you, you know, and he feels more human, that is all going to tie into whatever brought him up to where he is now. When we see his flashback, we're going to see what happened to him, and it's going to show that he's a real person that's been through some shit, and he's been through some shit that's made him rethink the way that he looks at the world, and make him respect people like that. So that, it just all comes down to Oda knowing how to write real feeling characters.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. So, I'll deal with Trafalgar next time. Yeah, he's like, alright, Trafalgar got away. I'm gonna get drunk and deal with him next time, which is fucking phenomenal. Now, clearly, again, I just think that clearly he let him go. Like, that just seems, I don't know. I don't trust this shit here. I think he let him go. But here's something we have to talk about. Let's talk about, oh, this is cute. Of course, you have the, you know, him with, he's noticing his wife is still beautiful as ever. That's cute. But here's what we got to talk about, okay? They survived with Chopper's, you know, point, and that's all great and funny. And Sanji saving the women at first, and like, you save us too. Classic Sanji. But here's what we really got to hear about. I want to talk about these faces.
Wait, first things first.
Tama is saved by. So yeah, they got her. They're gonna heal her. I figured. Well, that's another thing too. Don't fall in love with Kaido. He fucking baby shaked a little girl.
What?
He baby shaked a real baby.
He's just an abusive dad. It's okay.
Bro, listen. Like, you see how small she is?
Abusive drunk dad.
Kaido probably just like accidentally bumped into her, and that happened.
That's not funny, ladies and gentlemen.
It's very funny.
Yes, you're right. I take it back. It's very funny.
It's not just funny. It's very funny. No. These faces. These faces.
Oh,
and the
Luffy.
fact.
Robin, man. That shit is fucking hilarious, bro.
I just need to think. I just need to fucking... Okay. A couple things.
Man took his glasses off.
Yeah, no, my glasses are off. My shirt's above my head. I just need to... Oh, yeah, I forgot my fucking hair's all Kira blonde. I have to fucking wash that out later and then
see you.
Listen. Sorry, he was trying to turn the thing. We gotta talk about this. And we're staying on this page for a little bit. This is something that I love. And I hope that people... Because people, they let their dick get too involved in their rational thinking, right? So, when... I'm gonna watch King of Lightning's review. I've been hard on him in the past. Sometimes he's a little too obsessed with the attractiveness of his women. And if he's mad that he drew Robin like that, because Robin's like his best girl. If he can't have a little fun and enjoy the fact that Robin's making a weird face, I'm going to be so salty at King of Lightning that he can't just put away the fact that, oh, his perfect waifu was ugly for a second. I'm sorry, have you met a woman? Like a normal woman, like they're not always like prim, proper. Look, I'm beautiful. Like if they cry, if they cry and they might ugly cry. That's just like any human being. So that's just an immediate fuck you if you're mad about this, because some people are. And
why? It's beautiful.
Because she's not perfect. Yeah, no, that's great. And I think that the fact that Oda's able to do that with Robin, that killed me. My boy Usopp. But Robin, like, I can't. I'm just looking at that, like, what the fuck? And actually, I saw a comment about that, and that actually made me really happy. It was a comment on the Reddit where it was like, Robin making that face just shows how much the Straw Hats have impacted her, because she used to think about it, this is the same woman that used to say, "I will not do the docking with you. It is undignified," and now she's doing this. So someone put it in the comments. It was like, Robin might do the docking now. She's changed her mind. But no,
man, this chapter is.
Look! I love when she's all dignified here. Okay, so that's the call out and the fact that that's amazing, and God bless Oda for that. My boy Usopp. Wow, but yeah, so I love, and it makes sense what they're reacting to. They just basically, that is the perfect face to my captain's here. Oh, like, remember the meme, the South Park meme, where it's like, Luffy's here and he's gone. like Luffy's here and he's dead. So that's hilarious.
Bro, look at Zoro. Dude, I'm like, man.
And he does the same exact thing. Like, in the first translation I read, it said like something like he made the same exact noise that they did, because they all made the same noise. That's the joke. Like, they're all like, "Oh, Luffy." So Zoro is just on this fucking luxury cruise somehow with this guy. And by the way, Zoro should feel bad. I don't give a fuck. Zoro is semi in the fault here. Do you agree with me on this?
Yeah.
Zoro bailed. He's got to get his shit together.
I'm telling you, Zoro's going to be the MVP, man. Zoro's going to fucking...
No, but you can't tell me that Zoro's kind of not in fault here.
Obviously, he's in fault.
Because he bailed. And you know, obviously, I'm not going to pretend like Zoro could have made a difference because it's Kaido. But Zoro...
The fans think otherwise.
Yeah. Lido!
Lido!
Kaido takes Ichidai Zansen Zai Tatai Zakai. Get that king punch.
Alright, pack it in, folks. Zoro's already ready.
He just cuts his dragon form in half in the sky. No, but like, listen. Zoro's semi at fault here to me. Because he bailed. And if I was Zoro, I'd be thinking, well, fuck. I feel bad. I left and Zoro and my captain got fucked. and don't even give me that shit, Zoro. If Zoro tries to pull the Luffy, I thought you were strong now. You know, like remember when Luffy got beat by Caesar? And he was all mad at Luffy. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Luffy's like, what are you training for? But if you even try that shit, Zoro, like, you... that needs some more Zoro fanboy shit. Like, Zoro's gonna step up and be like, Luffy,
this proves that Zoro's the strongest with the crew now.
Luffy, you little bitch, getting beat by Kaido. I'll show you how it's done.
You can't even give Luffy the L name, because the L is already in his name.
Luffy. Luffy.
Luffy.
Luffy. No, but yeah,
Luffy.
That whole fucking scene was hilarious with the
Luffy.
faces. Amazing. Alright. Whew. Okay,
bro,
now
like
this
shit,
jail scene, bruh. Okay, so we gotta...
At first I thought like, I was like, what the fuck? They put Luffy in the cage already because they were like poisonous fish. Like, Luffy's immune to poison.
Yeah.
So, but like that.
This is a different guy. This isn't Kid either. This is some different guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look at the eyes. It's completely different. Look at those eyes, and then look at Kid's eyes. They're
because I assumed because scroll up, like I assumed that was there, but now that I see it,
I really don't think it's the same person. I thought for a second, but once again, look, line.
Okay.
That means it's a different scene. So I really think it's someone different. The main theory I'm hearing so far is, do you remember when fucking Kianmon was like, here's the list of samurais we gotta find? Mm-hmm. I think it's gonna be one of those. Which would mean that this is a dude they've been torturing for 20 years. Think about it, right? Because 20 years, Kozuki clan burns up in their castle. This is probably one of the Kozuki clan, like, hardcore, like, loyalists, right? He's been loyal to them for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So they've probably been trying to torture him for 20 years, and he's still loyal. So it's going to be one of those moments where it's like, look how loyal he is. He's been in here. He's probably going to be all scarred up, burned. They've probably done all the things they could possibly do to him. I mean, this guy's such a badass, they have to debone the fish because he's going to pull a fucking Uvo gun. I don't know if you remember what Uvo in Hunter x Hunter did. He bit the fucking dude's skull off and then used a piece of the skull and spit it through a dude's head like a bullet. He pulled an Uvo. You can't give him anything. So, this guy, I believe, is someone different than I'm almost
Luffy,
positive.
Man. Look at Luffy.
Luffy looks fucking fierce wrapped up like that. And I like this because at first, some people were kind of annoyed, like, oh, he's going to jail again because that just happened in the last arc. But this seems...
what?
It did.
I understand.
To be fair.
Different ways. Look at this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? Because it feels very different. This feels really real.
Like look at this shit. Underestimate. Like, they literally they're literally treating him like he's a part of the crew now. Like he's about to, all right, we're about to break you so bad that you want to join Kaido's crew.
I can't wait to see. This is a cool development. And what I like about this, when I first read this page, I was like, Luffy, you're having your own little Goldie Roger moment right now. Like, look, they're walking him through, like very much like how Goldie Roger got walked through with the shackles. So like this is, I wonder if he's like thinking to himself, like, wow, this is kind of like how Goldie Roger. But no, I love Luffy's like they're not even like fully fierce too. Like sometimes they just look very curious. Like, you know what I don't know. It's just Luffy's very pensive and thinking, but also slightly angry right now. But yeah, just Luffy being and this. Let's just talk this page. Here we go. Eustace Kid. Let all the fandom rejoice. The overhyping of Eustace Kid. What do you think?
The Broly of One Piece.
Yeah, he is the Broly of One Piece. Now listen, I don't mind Eustace Kid. I went back and reread stuff with him. He's fun. He's great. But Eustace Kid is a perfect example of people that take way too much, that take the bounties literally, right? The bounties were, because he was the one that had a higher bounty than Luffy. Everyone immediately was like, he's stronger than Luffy. No, because let me give you a difference, okay? Luffy adventures around and has fun. Eustace Kid goes into villages and kills people. Honestly, I'm going to be honest, it's subtext. But if Eustace Kid to me seems to be based off of real pirates. So what did real pirates do? They raped. They pillaged. They went into villages, fucked them up in every single way. So the idea that I get from Eustace is he's someone who just goes in, slaughters women, children, steals their shit, like just a scumfuck, right? So I assume that is why his bounty was higher. Now I'm not saying he's weak, but for the love of God, stop overhyping him. I am looking forward to it. I've always liked his power. I want to see what he can do more. And I always love in One Piece because this is something Oda can always make me hyped for. I love a returning character in One Piece because this is a character that's been built up for 10 years. So that all of the Supernova, whenever they show up, I'm hyped. I was hyped when Jewelry Bonnie showed up in Reverie. like anyone. Like I love the Supernova to death. So your thoughts on Kid returning? Well, I go get some more water.
Well, I mean, he's gonna be. It's obvious that he's in somewhat important aspect of the arc. So I mean, it's curious to me to see what the fuck is he even gonna do, because he's been sitting in this jail for quite a bit actually. So
I mean, it depends on how long ago.
Because last time we saw him was because in One Piece timeline wise, how long was Dressrosa to Zoe to now? Was it like a few months?
No, not months. Maybe like 2 weeks at most. Because
he's technically been in the cell for like 2 weeks, maybe more.
I'm gonna guess 2 weeks. I don't think it's been more than
because
that.
we have to consider, because when Kaido was jumping off the fucking
it depends on, timelines are sometimes hard, but like think about it. So from the time we went into
no. So it was they were at Punk Hazard when Kaido jumped off the thing, I believe, because I remember they're saying because the news of their Law and Luffy's partnership went around, and Kid and Hawkins and Scratchman and Pooh were like, oh, they're doing the same thing we're doing, going after a Yonko, and we're going after Shanks.
Okay, yeah.
So it was during the time.
I'm gonna wager to guess anywhere from like 2 weeks to a month and a half.
So from Punk Hazard to now, how many? I think
typically in between arcs. Typically an arc will last anywhere between 1 and 3 days. This one's gonna be longer, obviously, but because usually it's like, oh, we've spent one night there, next day something happens. That's typically how One Piece arc goes. So I assume from there, and then I know the trip from Dressrosa to Zoe was like maybe a day, and then the trip from Zoe to Whole Cake Island was like 2 or 3 days, if I remember correctly. So I'm going to guess, like I said, my guess is like 2 weeks to a month.
So we're gonna highball and say a month. So he's been in the cell for like quite a bit of month. So I mean,
and you can do a lot of torture in a month.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that Kaido, because what baffles me here, I'm assuming that Hawkins and Scratchman and Pooh were smart. They're like, okay, we're not fucking.
Scratchman and Pooh, dick sucking right now. Like on his knees, just deep throating that Kaido dick.
So they're probably like, okay, Kaido, we'll join you, but. Just was like, no, fuck you, Kaido.
I'll tell you right now how it went down, okay? Kaido fucking fell from the heavens like a Sephiroth angel of death. Okay. Kaido, he's gonna baby shake you. Okay, but no, so he fell, and then, so Scratchman and Pooh immediately, I'm telling you, knees, unzips Kaido's pants, just starts ogling the balls, like Deadpool to Wolverine style, you know what I'm saying? And no, but here's what happened with my boy Watkins. Okay, my boy Watkins gets out his cards. Does that whole chance of defeat, chance of escape. It's like, chance of defeat, 100%. Chance of escape, 0%. Chance of death, 100%. So he got his cards, it said that, and he was like, how may I serve you, Lord Kaido? So that's what's happening here. And I bet you, if I know Hawkins, every morning he checks his cards to see if there's a chance, right? So I imagine at one of these moments, one of these days, he's gonna be like checking his cards, like, oh, today there's a blank % chance that I can escape my bounds of Kaido today. You know what I mean? So like, I think he's just waiting for his opportunity. Scratchman Apu, unfortunately, as much as I love him, think back to Sabaody. He's a hit and run type. He fucking hit Kizaru and bailed. So he is not the brave type. He very clearly is like, of course, Kaido. You know what I mean? And but I mean, he's gonna have his moment, of course. He strikes me as someone who once Luffy comes in and like maybe encumbers Kaido a bit, then Scratchman's gonna be like, sweet, now I can get a hit on him. You know what I mean? So I think as of now, Scratchman is very, very clearly like pulling the dick sucking, like, yes, sir, of course, sir. You know. Because we saw the one scene where he was talking to him through Den and Mushi, like, yes, Lord Kaido, of course. Like, he looked very like,
And then we have Eustace, who obviously tried to fight him and then got fucked up. Obviously, obviously, Kaido just gave him the same treatment he gave Luffy because he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
So
he respects him and he wants him in their crew. I mean, like, it's like he's trying to collect all the supernovas. Like, you work for me, you work for me.
So one of my favorite parts of this chapter was this, right?
Yeah,
bro. Like at the same time,
like we're all the team, man, the team.
Seeing Luffy say that shit.
I love Luffy with his fucking mouth and head covered. It just looks so cool. And I like how Oda closes it out like it's a play. Because remember, he opened it up like it was a play when they got to Wano. So end of Act 1. But here's what I want to... That's pretty cool. And of course, we're on break, so sad times. But let's talk about this, right? Couple things. One. This is just me because I'm a weirdo like this, but I was really hoping. I wanted that like dude in the shadows to somehow be Gecko Moria. I know it makes no sense, but I love him. Why do people hate Gecko Moria?
Well, he's dead now. So.
He's not dead. Why do you think that? Why do people think that?
This man got fucking ambushed by Daffy and was literally sent to die by Sama.
So you missed the memo that Absalon came with his invisibility fruit and took him. You missed that?
I watched the anime, so I must have, because the anime didn't show me.
Doflamingo went to attack him. Right before he went to attack him, Gecko Moria, gone. And then
I don't think the anime showed that. I don't think the anime did.
Yep, and then there was a scene where Doflamingo's talking to either the Gorosei or Sengoku and saying, yeah, it must be, it's weird. It must have been, maybe it's like something that his Shadow Fruit can do. He just kind of just disappeared out of nowhere. And then Oda in an SBS confirmed that it was remember the lion dude that had the invisibility fruit? Mm-hmm. Lion dude was at Marineford the whole time, right before he stepped in to save Gecko Moria.
Oh, really?
Yep, so Gecko Moria is confirmed still alive.
Okay, that's good. That's good then.
Yep.
But why would he be in Wano, though? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Really? I just gave him the stare, guys. To remind you, I know it's been a while, in Thriller Bark, it was not even implied, but like just said that he had a huge grudge against Kaido. Remember that
everyone does now.
One of the first times Kaido was mentioned was Gecko Moria specifically. Here, let me just give you the idea. So Gecko Moria, before we saw him, remember how we saw him as a very lazy, he was lazy, he just wanted to lay back, do nothing, and let his minions do it, right? He didn't used to be like that. He used to be, he said to Luffy, he was like, listen, Luffy, I used to be just like you. I had this drive and adventure to go out and do stuff, but then I went to the New World and I got fucked. Like he literally was like, I went to the New World, got fucking rocked. And he basically said, he got rocked by Kaido. Gecko Moria went to the New World, got baby shaked by Kaido, and yes, I am commandeering that word from King Lightning because I love it. And you know, so basically, because when he had Oars, the zombie, he was like, oh, with this zombie, even Kaido won't be able to beat me, which we all know is bullshit. He fucking turned into a dragon. But yeah, so a lot of people assume that this would be a perfect time for Gecko Moria to come back and be like, yo, I got a grudge against. Here's the dream scenario I have, right? Gecko Moria comes back, meets up with Luffy. It's like, hey, Luffy, I hate you. You hate me. But we both hate Kaido. So, this is still me talking as Gecko Moria here. Gecko Moria says to Luffy, hey, You beat me last time by subjugating 100 shadows into yourself using my power, and you became strong enough to beat me. The wielder of the power. So, what if I, using my power, allow you to take as many shadows as you want, and that's how we'll work together to beat Kaido?
Makes sense.
So, that would be a return of a fan favorite Shadow Luffy, but even better. Imagine a
Nightmare
Shadow
Luffy.
Yeah, or I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Yes, thank you. Imagine a Nightmare Luffy Gear 4th combination with even more shadows. Not 100 this time, he could take like 1,000, 10,000. And so Gecko Moria could be over there with the assist, just shoving shadows in him, and then he's fighting fucking. I would love to see Gecko Moria over there like fucking with shadows and shit, like kind of like he's over like kind of like a WWE tag team. He's on the fucking corner belt, like shadow. I would love that because I love Gecko Moria and I want to see him back. So yeah, thoughts on that?
Not much of it, but that's actually not bad. I mean, I had nothing against Gecko Moria.
Boy.
He was actually a pretty interesting. I was kind of pissed he didn't really do much during the Marineford.
Well, he got fucked clearly.
All he did was fucking kill oars.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what you got to think about with the Marineford War. A lot of his powers are made moot by the sunlight. Think about it. Like the only time he was able to raise the dead is when it was like slightly cloudy. But remember, if he raises the dead and the sun hits them, boom. Mm-hmm. So
I like you said the. Why do you? I want your thoughts on this. Why do you think Kaido ended up? Oda is Kaido confirmed. Why do you think Oda ended it this way? Like,
so again, I recommend Grand Line Review. Grand Line Review to everybody. He's a very good YouTuber. He's been basing this entire arc like a kabuki play. So when this arc started, did you remember it started like that too? You remember that, right? Mm-hmm. It started with the curtains opening. You remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it was based on like the like, and it shows this woman every time. Essentially, he's basing this entire arc off of a play. And this chapter is actually named Ha. I don't know if you noticed that. And that is theorized to be reference to that is the Japanese word for the beginning of a 3-part play. So essentially, this is the end of Act 1. And then the middle act is typically the longest of a kabuki play, and then the end is the conclusion. So that the ending of Act 1 is always something bad just happened, holy fuck, and then it ends Act 1 and goes into Act 2, right? So this is kind of Oda being like, he's setting this entire arc like it's a kabuki play, because it's very Japanese, feudalistic, yada yada, right? So I think this is just him. Now there's two things. Either one, it's just an aesthetic choice to be cute. Other theory.
I really like how he ended this chapter, by the way. I think it's really creative, in my opinion.
I agree. But here's the other thing. You know what happens in plays? Intermissions. Mm-hmm. So if he wanted to go back to Reverie right now,
like Reverie,
this would be the best time. If he wanted to go back to Reverie, think about it. He just closed the curtain. What better time to go back to Reverie for like 5 chapters?
Yeah, and seeing.
I want to know what happened. What was the last thing that happened? Was
Summer, and then the Reverie actually started. But then the fucking old people were like, okay, it's time to fucking. We're actually going to see what happened to
because they were implying fucking over Vivi and her dad, and then had or whatever the fuck his name was.
So it's I'm something.
Thank you.
So he had the pictures. He had the pictures of Luffy,
Shirahoshi, Vivi, and then Blackbeard.
Yeah. So Vivi was cut up, and then Luffy and
Shirahoshi had a knife through her, which made me. Remember.
So did Luffy too. Mm-hmm. They all had but he had Vivi in his hands.
Yeah, which makes me think, all right.
So I'm assuming it. So I remember one video we tried to summarize what does that mean. Stabbing food could be like next cut because Blackbeard's was cut up, wasn't it? Blackbeard's was or Luffy was?
I'd have to go back, but
because one of them was cut up. I think maybe Shirahoshi was, but so 2 of them had stabbings.
I thought Shirahoshi's was stabbed. I think
Luffy was too. We have to go back.
I'm pretty sure. I think the cut up one might have been Blackbeard. I think you're right.
Let me.
I got you. But we'd have to figure out what chapter that was in the middle of this fucking video.
Well, it's fine, but it was I remember we were trying to figure out what the fuck was going on there. So I mean, obviously we can summarize that since he had Vivi in his hand, that was the next target, right? So, but what could the cutting up mean and the stabbing mean, right? Was it like these are people we're keeping an eye on, or people who are next? Because honestly, the Marines can't really fuck with Blackbeard right now. Like he has a crew that can rival fucking.
Okay. Eam later went to the room of. I'm on the wiki and went to the room of flowers and cut apart Luffy and Blackbeard's bounty posters while examining pictures of Princess Shirahoshi and Vivi. Okay, so yeah, Shirahoshi had the knife through it. Vivi he held, and Luffy and Blackbeard's were cut up.
So we can assume that.
According to the wiki, that's wrong. Yeah.
So the cutting up, because what could cutting the picture? What does cutting a picture up mean?
I wonder if it's just like we've gone to reverie theories now, I guess. But I wonder if it's just like kind of like when you hate someone, right? Like it's like I'm sure you've seen it where like they have a picture of like your principal on the fucking dartboard, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just like fuck this guy, this guy.
So the stabbing through that could be like someone who's next, like we're planning to kill that person. It's assumingly. Yeah. So, like, because think about it, right?
Well, so Shirahoshi's the ancient weapon. And if they know that, they're going to
I'm pretty sure he knows that.
But how? I don't like the idea of him just being an omniscient god that knows everything. There's got to be a reason he knows. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they have eyes and ears everywhere, so I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Oh, well, I know. Because I know Caribou heard, and he was implied to be going to Kaido. I don't know. But,
so, my thing is this, right? So, like, because honestly, the Marines can't really send a hit on Luffy and Blackbeard right now because you can't. Like, yeah, you can send a fucking Akainu there, but I mean, that's like Akainu's too busy running the fucking government right now. So essentially, I feel like Ainsama's whole thing was, I feel like his whole purpose
sending a message to Alabasta.
His whole purpose, I feel like, is to target someone who's getting too big, right?
So here's what it is. Alabasta, since the very beginning, has been they decided to not become celestial dragons. Remember that? Because they were royal, and they were supposed to be the Celestial Dragons along with the rest of them. You know that, right? So, like, technically, Vivi is a Celestial Dragon. She just didn't choose to go up and be a douchey one, you know? She lived life kind of like how Doflamingo's dad wanted them to live life, like, with the commoners, right? And they kind of take that as an insult, like, oh, you want to live with the commoners, you fucking filth. You know what I mean? So, I think that with Vivi, it's kind of it depends on if he wants to do it publicly or privately. So if it's a public, like, you're dead, we're killing you, it's sending a message to the rest of the world, right? So if he does something to Vivi in the front of all the other kings, it could be like a fall in line because we have power. Like, if he could demonstrate how much power they had, just, you know, like, or they could do it more secretly where they kind of plan like a coup to kill the leadership of Alabasta and then replace the king with someone that will blindly follow their orders. The U.S. government does this all the time. We did this back in, I believe it was Iran in the 1970s. The CIA went into Iran and did a coup and replaced the democratically elected leader with just like a puppet that would listen to us and sell us oil. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like governments do this all the time where they're like, hey, let's do a coup on that government and replace the leader with some dude that'll just listen to us mindly and we'll just give him a bunch of money. So that might be what happens. Like, they might just want to get rid of Alabasta's leadership and put in someone that'll listen to them. So it could be one of those two things. But I would love it if they went back to Reverie, sure, certainly. But yeah, this has been a great long video. Any final thoughts here, Thurman?
Nah, we're good.
Oh, we'll see how long it is when we're done. But yeah, no predictions? I guess.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you're right.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen.
Peace.